Look, I go into every game prepared to learn, with an open mind and a thankful heart. I mean, I'm basically Michael Caine at the end of a Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm this close to doing a goddamn musical number. So that's the thing. I don't go into games with the intention of being a dick about it. But then games pull this crap. And all of a sudden, I'm back to being Mr. Humbug. If being mean's a way of life, I've practiced and rehearsed, and all that work is paying off, because this shit's getting worse. It's Spider-Man for the Game Boy Advance. I don't want to point fingers. I don't know who said, hey, we should make sure that the first thing people see when they start our video game is the most hideous, overcompressed video in the recorded history of video. I'm not prepared to name names. But if I were, I would also be prepared to advocate the death penalty because that person should be killed. Because, look, the future, technology, all that stuff is supposed to make people in the past jealous. But I'm pretty sure that if that intro video played before, a Charlie Chaplin movie in 1929, the people in the theater would have been disappointed. They'd have been like, man, the future. This Great Depression thing, it's not so bad after all. Could be worse. We could have Spider-Man for the Game Boy Advance. Anyway, once your pixels have finally stopped mourning and the game finally starts, the good news is things get better. The bad news is not much, and really, do pixels ever get over something like that? If you've played Spider-Man 2 for the GBA, well, this is 90% the same, for better or worse, mostly worse. Same general gameplay, very similar design. In fact, this incredibly frustrating level that never ends is a lot like an incredibly frustrating level that never ends in Spider-Man 2. Only in that one, it's fire that's chasing you instead of a falling ceiling. Either way, both things would kill you in real life, though, just as they kill most of your real-life interest in playing this game any further. No matter how far ahead of the ceiling you get, it's always right behind you. It's kind of like real-life death, if you think about it. I don't care how many marathons you've run, you're still gonna die. So it's obviously an action platformer, 2D beat-em-up kind of thing. Look, you run around, and you swing around, and you beat up bad guys around, and you stick to every fucking thing you touch around, which is probably the most frustrating thing about the game's controls and mechanics. Spider-Man is like a piece of gum on the bottom of your shoe. Just impossible to get that shit off. And every time you step, you hear that faint, sticky sound as your shoe peels off the floor. That's the best way I can describe the gameplay experience of Spider-Man for the GBA. You're sticking to things you don't want to. Half the time you're crawling when you didn't mean to. He's a spider, I get it. Guy can still walk though, right? I mean, he's not Spider Old Man. By and large, if all you're looking for is some Spider-Man beat-em-up action or whatever, this is fine. It's not like it's terrible. Combat's okay, and aside from that stickiness, the game controls all right. And again, some of the web swinging mechanics are a little clunky too. See, that's the thing. When it's not clunky or sticky or glitchy, it's never more than just okay, And at least for me, it was certainly never any fun. I mean, look at this thrilling boss fight. I mean, it's like an episode of Perfect Strangers playing this crap, only somehow less exciting. Look, I'm not the bad guy here, okay? I'd like to play a good Spider-Man game as much as you guys would. Not really much of a comic book guy, but Kirsten Dunst's nipples had a real impact on me in the summer of 2002. So I'd love for this thing to be fun and action-packed and just literally anything but this. But unlike this game, I'm not gonna lie to you. Does the game look okay? Sure, yeah, there's some decent animation and stuff. Whatever, it's the Game Boy Advance. You can save your game. That was kind of a big deal back then on the GBA, but none of those positives ever really nullify the negatives or the disappointments or the frustrations or the boredom or the intro. Seriously, how does that happen and who did it? Because I want to kill them. It's Spider-Man for the Game Boy Advance.